Part 1, Cotton is King. Now what does a king do? Well, it rules over the land. So like a king, Cotton ruled over the South for the most part of the 17 and 1800s. In 1793, Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. This invention was very important because, of course, the cotton gin created more cotton at a faster rate. If there was more cotton, one could make more money as well. This cotton kingdom benefited the North because the majority of the cotton was woven on northern looms, creating the Southern dependence on the North. Fast forwarding to 1845, we see that half of all American exports was cotton, and half of the world's cotton was grown in America's South. Also, 1/5 of the British population worked in the textile industry, which means that there was a very high demand in Britain for cotton to make these textiles. This must have been true because 3/4 of the British cotton at that time came from the U.S. Part 2. The planter aristocracy, or hierarchy of social class. The South was considered an oligarchy, or a group ruled by the few. It is an oligarchy because there were very few plantation owners with extreme wealth and influence in government. In 1850, 1,733 families owned more than 100 slaves. Also at this time, women ruled over the household. Because they had slaves, they had no chores to do and didn't even have to tend to the children. Part 3. The slaves of the system. There were 4 main cons of the slave system. One may be surprised that they did not directly affect the slaves themselves. There was an increase in debt because many people overspeculated on land and slaves. Cotton was the cash crop of the Southern economy. If there was a drought, spread of disease, or any harmful event, the economy would crumble. Because cotton was the sole crop, the South relied on the North for goods and food. Immigrants would not move to the South because there was too much competition for jobs with slaves, land was expensive, and the ignorance of the cotton cultivation. Part 4. The white majority. At the top of the white person's social pyramid would be the elite group of plantation and slave owners. They were the wealthiest and most influential, but also the smallest group. The awkward middle was made up of the small farm owners that still had slaves. Their role was pretty self-explanatory. The lowest class of white people in the South consisted of the white people who did not own slaves. They had the least influence, even though there were many more of them, because they were poorer and had less power. Part 5. Free blacks. The slaves without masters. Many of them settled in New Orleans, Louisiana. In the South, they were prohibited from having certain jobs and forbidden to testify against white people in court. Part 6. Plantation slavery. In 1808, the importation of slaves is banned. By 1860, there were 4 million slaves in America. Many times, the most dangerous jobs were left for Irishmen because it was too risky for the slaves to do it. In this way, the Irish became known as being less of a person than the slaves. They were sometimes depicted in political cartoons as monkeys or gorillas. There are 3 regions that are often referred to during this time. The first one is the Cotton Belt, which is anywhere from Virginia to Texas. The Deep South, which is South Carolina to Louisiana. Then the Black Belt, which is South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Because slaves had no part in the American dream and they wanted freedom, some revolted. In the mid-1800s, there were some early abolitionists. There was a group called the American Colonization Society, which moved black people back to Africa. There were also many radical abolitionists, such as William Lloyd Garrison, Sojourner Truth, and Frederick Douglass.